Okay?
Now is okay, Dada, very loud and clear. Dada, we are just waiting from you. Yes, you can start anytime.
May I start now?
Please, please.
Okay. So I don't like to kill any time. So namaskar to everyone from Bangladesh, Dhaka, from Gita Sangha Bangladesh, and also from Nityananda Chakraborty. The topic is very interesting today. Dr. Datta asked my opinion about the issues, and I had my submission to him that the practical aspects would be the good thing, practical issues to discuss. And I now understand that the selection was quite wise, because most of the orators before me, they spoke very well about our issues, and particularly our poverty in terms of spiritual aspirations, and also knowing our own religion, Hinduism. So now I acknowledge gratitude to the BGRF and its very active management, who have kindly thrown this program all throughout the world in order to educate people about Hinduism. Now, Mr. Balamukund, I want to start with his words that parents are the first factors for the children to learn religious education. And ignorance about Hinduism, among the young generation in particular, is a practical issue today for the Hindu population in the world at large. Now, this poverty is all-pervading, affecting our economic, social, and intellectual fields also. And the main issue is that small aim we have no larger aim, no vast aim, no sky-like aim, for which we remain crippled, as the Vedas told us, Upanishad told us, Srinantu Vishwe Amritasya Putra Ye Dhamani Divyani Tasthu. Here, all the inhabitants of the world and the sons of the Amrita, the immutable, you are the part and parcel of that boy Purush, Brahma. And you are on the way towards the truth, towards the welfare of the world. Just carry on. You will not be abolished or demolished. This we have forgotten. We are very oblivious. We forget that we are the Amritasya Putra. Lack of habit of reading religious basic sutras is another practical issue in our personal life, in the family life, in the social life. Vedas, Upanishads, for example, Sriti, Shruti, and Nyaya Shastra, these are almost unknown even to the parents. We have the problem with the parents first. We don't know these things, and therefore we cannot transmit these ideas to our children in a very simple language. When we don't understand ourselves, we cannot simplify them to our children. That's the problem. And this is the problem we are also suffering in Bangladesh. From Gita Sangha, we have 600 schools. We find that all the children come very ignorant. from families. Want of proper teacher is a practical issue today, or guru, to orient and train the Hindu young boys and girls about the basic tenets and essence of proper Hindu Shastras, which is as vast as the sky. We don't make our children understand. Even we don't know that our Hinduism is just like a sky, like the sky. It is as vast as that. Fourth issue is the religious practices differ with different sects. Samaj, then ashramites, disciples, the communities, gurus, etc. No uniformity or uniqueness. That is not a problem. But these practices are only the means to reach the same destination. If these practices are to reach the same destination of Brahma, then these diversities of ashramites, disciples, sects, samaj, these are not problems. So we have to understand that there may be hundreds of factions in the Hindu community following different gurus, different demonstrations of different sections, because our religion has approved of it. This diversity has been approved by our religion. And our Upanishad again says, Yathanaddo Shandamana Samudravastang Gachanti Namarupi Vihayo Tatha Vidyan Namarupat Vimukta Parat Parang Purusamupoiti Dibbam. We have our names and our identities, just like the names and identities of different rivers coming down from the Himalayas. But they meet the same sea, same ocean, forgetting those names in the estuary. When they meet the estuary, they have no name. When they meet the ocean, they have no name, no identity as such. Therefore, this vastness of Hindu religion has to be taught to the people, Hindus, with that spirit that Hindu religion provides us. And then the next practical issue is Hindu followers through millennia, not only hundreds or thousand years, through millennia, have been facing much more encounters than other contemporary religions. Therefore, suffering and unusable and reactions, unusable practices and reactions against basic instructions of Shastras. What I like to say is that the followers of different paths or sects or doctrines or dogmas, the Hindu followers do that. And they have been suffering this kind of diversities for millennia together, but they have the same goal. They have now been unable to react to those who oppose this because they are not literate enough to know the vernacular or the vocabularies of our Shastras and religion in proper way. Therefore, they cannot instantly give explanation of our Shastras. And the next issue is the psychological influence or psychological pressure, we can say, from materialistic part of the world and materialistic super teachers, I can say, whose destinations are far away from a unified human religion or philosophy, which Hindu philosophy demonstrates. Shyness among the Hindus, myopic outlooks, lack of proper language of basic religious books to explain the exact nature of Hinduism. That's an incapability on our part. This is an issue which we should sway. We cannot make people understand that Hinduism is not dogmatic, it is not pessimistic, it is not only limited to principles and doctrines, it is not non-ethical, it is not stationary, it is quite dynamic, that it has developed through millennia by dint of cohabitation with multiple opinions, concepts, and cross-feedings also. If I cross my time, please give me a bell, give me a ring. We don't even know what is the time of the Vedic incarnations. And this has made our religious knowledge quite lame because we don't know the real sermons which are Apurushayo before Christ, no doubt. But how long? Is it from 1200 to 600? Or is it from 4500 or 2500? Upanishads too, even before the rise of Buddhism and Mahavir. We don't really know how to make others understand the sutras, Brahma Sutra by Bhadrayan, the Mimamsa by Jaimini, Nyaya by Gautama, Vaisheshiki by Kanad, Yoga by Patanjali, Shankha by Kapil, etc. They were already established as theistic philosophy. So we have to know these things, otherwise we cannot really orient ourselves to transmit our knowledge of Hinduism to the younger children. And I'm sure that Gita at last has given a very concise and also comprehensive conclusion about the practices in chapter 17, also in sporadically in other chapters also. And there, the issues of devotional diversity, these have been analyzed quite well by Sri Bhagavan himself. And the practices and rites or rituals are marked with difference. These today create tensions among ourselves. Each caste or jati approaches or practices in its own context prevail in each sector or gurus or communities. This has culminated into systems, but these systems have to be recognized, and this should be beyond the privileges and the prejudices. Gita gives us the directions of practices. What are those things? They are the kayic, that is bodily, manashik, mental, and vachanik, the spoken tapasyas. I have very little time today to describe all those things, but I would request everybody, every parents at least, you know, but I still just request them with my combined hands together that please take those practices into our minds and then try to prepare our children in the way Gita has described. There are gunas, Shaktik, Rajashik and Tamashik, and Shraddha or respect. This is also according to everybody's Shraddha, everybody's guna. This Shraddha, this Tapasya, Karma, Yajna, all these things are according to gunas. So we have these gunas explained in Vedas, Shaktik, Rajashik and Tamashik gunas. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna has said to soar above all these gunas. Traigunna Vishaya Veda Nistraigunna Bhavarjuna. He asked Arjuna to soar above all these gunas. Why? Because gunas can lead us up to the heaven only, but Brahman remains even beyond the heaven. Therefore, we have to make ourselves prepared for meeting the Brahman, because Chinnantu Vishwe Amritasya Putra. I started with this. So we are the sons of the Amrita. We have to meet them. And Hindu philosophy is respectful to the cohabitation of different thoughts and sects and concepts, processes, all targeted towards the ultimate truth. No such thought process, sectarian opinion, has any chance to oppose the other sectors. Has no chance to oppose if they are targeted towards the destination of Brahman. Therefore, in the field of ahar, I mean eating, in the field of sacrifice of yajna, in the field of karma, in the field of shraddha, we have to be respectful to others' practices also. Otherwise, Hinduism gets defective. Sometimes we find the vegetarian, non-vegetarian fight, even it becomes a battle if we do not really intervene. And many of us who claim to be the Vaishnavas or who claim to be the Tantrics or the Shakti-Vadi, they become really inimical between themselves. I would request them to go back to the tattvas, I mean basic theories of this Vaishnavism and Shaktiism. If we know those basic theories, basic principles, then really it will be easy for us to associate with all the sectarians, with all the practices which are not even in Hinduism, but in other isms also, other religions also. We can make a very good combination, a comprehensive religion by mixing them, showing respect to them. Tulsidas, the poet, he said, "Sabse boshiye, sabse suniye, sabka lijiye naam, haji korte rahiye, boithiye apna tham." Just fix your belief in something, in some concept, in some practices, but say yes to all the practices, other practices, all other concepts, all other philosophical thoughts, schools, etc. Because in our Hinduism, we have different schools of thought. We know the Brahmo Samaj, still there. New religion movement was there, Ramakrishna Mission, Theological Society, Annie Basant also. and then Sri Aurobindo Ashram, and Brahma Samaj, then Vedanta, which is very much favorite of Vivekananda, etc. And ISKCON has also come up as a sect in order to preach its own way of thinking. So this kind of division is there. Oh, sorry, diversity is there, but there is no division. I like to make a difference between the words division and diversity. We become diverse, but we don't divide ourselves. That is the question which we have to answer to. History of Hinduism. Many people say in many ways it came from the southern Russia or Central Asia. The Vedic people close to the, Sanskrit, Iranians, Sanskrit speaking, or earliest surviving incarnations, etc. And it came from Indian subcontinent. Then all other practices like Upanayan or the 10 Sanskars, wearing sacred threads, Upanayan, etc. And then Indus Valley civilization, all these things are there. We have a very rich and proud history of our own, heritage of our own, but we have started forgetting all these things. And I would request the management to tell me, please, how much time I have, because I don't know whether I can give the solution to all the problems or issues I have raised, because it is not the session where I should give all the solutions, because it is not me who can articulate the solutions now, but we have to solve them. I have thrown the issues to all the heads present here, not only here, but also I like to just reach the billions of young Hindus, Hindu young boys and girls, not these few who are present today here, all over the world, who find the unity in diversity and gladly accept diversity of God concept rather than division of Hinduism. And I would request to regain the strength, our strength, and broaden our outlook and draw upon our heritage and wisdom to enrich our lives. Technology, we always take some lame excuse that technology has eaten up our religious thoughts and ideas and concepts and notions. I don't believe in it, because the technology must not preclude our spiritual development in Hindu way. We need to home grow our own Vedic model. We have to home grow it. If I am not clear, I repeat it. We have to home grow, not to borrow from somewhere else, from some ideas other than in Hindus, based on our inherent strength. So I emphasize there 3 words. It has to be homegrown. We have to make our own Vedic model in a modern way, maybe. And we have to strengthen our inherent ideas, inherent strength. We have to base all these things upon our inherent strength. And visionary teachers have to be there. This is one and first solution, I think, to all the issues I have remarked here. The visionary teachers are needed very much. A role model with ignited minds, not blind minds, not dark minds, because dark minds can only show the dark ways. We are to pray to Almighty to give strength in Hindus to combat the process of diversities. Sorry, process of divisions, not diversities. But arouse logic in philosophical diversities, congenial for future development of potential and practical Hindu generation. So if all the points I have made, if they are plausible, if they are acceptable to you, because it is a symposium, I cannot impose anything on anybody of you. I cannot impose it on the children even. But Hinduism is so vast a platform that we can love anybody, not only humankind, but also the living beings on the world, even the material world also. And we have to soar above all this Maya in the ultimate terms in order to be really being close to the Godhead, the Brahman, and all the 6 theistic and 3 atheistic philosophies in Indian philosophy. These diversities should not embarrass us, should not make any difficulty for us to mix with them, because opinions are diverse, but target is the truth. Everybody's target is the truth, so we respect them. So practice, actions, customs, worshipping, pilgrimages, and cultural, norms, these may be different. I agree. But the ultimate goal, the destination, is the Brahman, is the Godhead. If we love that Godhead, we can take any path as designated by our religious rishis, munis, saints, and thinkers, philosophers. Whatever way we follow, Ramakrishna Mission said, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said, Jatamat Tatapat. Where there is an opinion, that's the way towards God. So we believe in that. There's a sky-like vast area where we have to tread. We are so profoundly free and without any bindings that we should feel proud of this religion rather than being crippled about our customs and practices and all these things. These are not the main things. The main thing is that we can keep our head erect and our heart very strong with the God who is inside us. He is generating, God is generating bhavas, feelings. These feelings are exposed in terms of karma, which is called yagna. So Brahma is always with us. We don't have to fear about anything, because fear and anxieties are also projected into the realities. At the same time, our feeling of happiness, our feeling of pride about our religion, the knowledge about religion also has some projection in the real life. So we have to be very clear in our mind that fears and anxieties we don't have to adhere to. We have to adhere to not fear, but fair, F-A-I-R, fair relationship with everybody. The world is our friend. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is the diction from our religion. And also the Vedas, the philosophical Vedas and Tantric Vedas, these also make us able to afford that much of magnanimity that we can mix with everybody, losing nothing of our religious personality. We can make our life very strong, and therefore our enemy is poverty, I should say. And this enemy, this spiritual poverty, this religious poverty, we have to shun, we have to get rid of. So we pray to Almighty Bhagavan, we pray to Godhead that let him give strength in Hindus to combat the forces of divisions, but arouse logic in them so that the diversities are congenial for future development of our Hinduism. We admit diversity. We invite diversity. We don't avoid them. It may be quite 90-degree different, 180-degree different from what we opine. But if that difference is directed towards the Godhead, we have no problem to mix with them. Ramakrishna Paramahansa said his namaz, prayed in the Islamic way, but he is still frustrated by the millions of Hindus all over the world. So the practices, whatever it is, if they are directed towards the Godhead, we have no problem to make way to that, to get them as the friends. So I like to reach millions of young Hindu boys and girls today through this BGRF media all over the world who find the unity in diversity and gladly accept diversity of God concept. It is God's own pleasure. It is God's own pleasure to see God from different angles of vision. As a person, for example, me, I also enjoy it if many people look at me from different angles of vision. This is a pleasure. So the Godhead, the ultimate destination of all of us Hindus and all the religious people of the world. So it is the pleasure for God Himself to have this diversity of God concept rather than the division of Hinduism. With this, I like to end up here because I know that Dr. Datto is counting minutes in order to stop me as the time has already elapsed. But I cannot resist my temptation to speak on these issues because we are in such a situation, in such a, I should say, disruptive situation, in such a disappointing situation that we have to rise up above all these limitations and crippled ideas. This is the time because the culture and civilization from everywhere are gallopingly eating up the meats of our religion, eating up the essences of our religion. So we cannot practice them properly. We feel shy. We have to soar above this shyness, soar above this poverty of our understanding and practices, and be as large as the multiverse is. Chinnantu Vishwe Amrita Shaputra. We have to gain back that force. Thank you very much, my benign frustration to you all. I can have made mistakes in what I was saying. Please excuse me. And I apologize for the weak vocabulary I have in order to present my mind to all of you. I am not that strong in English. I am not that eloquently spoken. I am not that rich in the knowledge of Hinduism. So please excuse me if I have made any mistake. Thank you very much. Thanks to BGRF. Thanks to all the children who really started this business today. I have my all appreciations to them. It is really a good thing BGRF is doing, is sharing these ideas and raising the children from their early ages in order to grasp the real cracks of Hinduism. Thank you all. Namaskar.
Namaskar.